Okay. He's not here right now.
Well, look, I was told that Mr. Merrill would be returning on Friday. So I called up today just to verify that. And now I'm told that Mr. Merrill won't be returning on Friday.
I
Now,
don't know who you've been talking to.
well, I've been talking to the receptionists.
Well, he's not here today.
Well, I know he's okay. And the thing is, I've also been told that Mr. Merrill checks his answering machine and his emails, and I don't have any sign of that either. Now, for the past 10 years, this case of post-conviction relief has been obfuscated by a prosecutor who destroyed 4 previous post-conviction relief applications. And are you an attorney?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you know that that's absolutely against the rules, isn't it?
If a prosecutor, if you're telling me that a prosecutor destroyed post-conviction applications, then yes, that would be bad.
Okay, that's really bad. And you know what? The fact of the matter is that there is an attorney, Harold DeLange, who has testified to that fact because the 4th post-conviction relief was handed directly to Mr. Wolf's offices by Harold DeLange. He handed that to them. And mysteriously it disappeared. That was the 4th one. Now, I have experience with this now, like I said, for 10 years. And the fact of the matter is if and I do have a licensed attorney who has testified to Judge Nancy Tabor that Mike Wolf, the prosecutor from Clinton County, Iowa, has destroyed 4 previous post-conviction relief applications. There are records from correctional facilities, 2 of them, where I started this post-conviction relief effort. So they have records of me paying for the postage and the address where it was sent to. So there's more than enough proof that this has gone on. And in the interim, since I got out of stir and have insisted that this post-conviction relief go forward because, sir, I'm innocent. I went to prison because of what you would call religious intolerance and race hate. I started writing things on my website that Clinton County didn't like after my significant other, who is black, had a hate crime committed upon her in Calamus, Iowa. And all I did in response to that, after finding out exactly what happened, was to make a joke on the web. And I spent 2.5 years in a state institution until the Supreme Court decided that it is not against the law to make fun of rednecks, crackers, shit kickers, and peckerwoods. Then I went to federal prison because I named the names of every federal puke and state slimeball who watched a child, an infant, who was obtained through human traffic, and by the way, her Social Security file verified that, or I wouldn't have ever printed it. I represented Wanda Butler in a Social Security appeal. As a matter of fact, I've represented numerous people in Social Security appeals, and I have won every case that I brought before an administrative law judge in Social Security appeals. And when I came upon Wanda Butler, when I met her, I had pretty much decided I didn't want to deal with those people anymore. Because if you've ever dealt with Social Security, you know what the procedure is. They obfuscate things and they obfuscate things, and they will keep people hanging on for years. But every Social Security administrative law judge that I've appeared before has been an extremely fair guy. And you know, I won every appeal I ever brought before an administrative law judge. And when I met Wanda and had decided I didn't want to do that anymore, it's just a thankless task, I took Wanda to every Social Security litigator within 100 miles of Davenport, Iowa, both in Iowa and Illinois, because it's a federal case. And you know, every Social Security litigator told me it was a lost cause. They wouldn't take Wanda's case. So reluctantly I took it. Guess what? I won that case too. I won it. And after I won that case, and I know 3 other attorneys in the Davenport area where this has happened to, if you go balls to the wall for your client or whoever you're representing, I mean, I don't have a client, really. I don't have a license to practice law. I didn't charge anybody for what I did. They weren't my client. I was just representing them. After I won Wanda's case, my administrative appeal rights were revoked. And now I find that my right to represent myself in any court is being revoked. Now, if Mr. Merrill is the kind of attorney who is going to say, well, you know, I've only been assigned by the court to do one thing, Mr. Merrill has another duty here. Mr. Merrill is going to have to go after Mr. Mike Wolf. If he's not willing to do that for something that you said was very wrong, then I don't want Mr. Merrill. We're going to deal with this by the numbers. And by the numbers, we are going to bring it to the court's attention that Mr. Wolf is a bigoted son of a bitch, and he broke the law. And if Mr. Merrill's not willing to do that, he's going to withdraw. Because this is a salient part of this case. It's been a salient part of this case now for 10 years. And it's been even more salient since a licensed attorney told Nancy Tabor that he delivered my post-conviction relief directly into Mr. Wolf's hands. So that's why I have to talk to Mr. Merrill. And I have to talk to him today. And I don't want to hear about this crap about how he's supposed to be back on Friday. So I just called up today to verify that, because I didn't want to waste my time on Friday. And now I'm told, oh, well, he's not going to be back until the end of the month. You know, this isn't right. This isn't right. This is a serious damn thing. I don't owe the state of Iowa any money. I was convicted on the premise that it's okay for Mr. Wolf to destroy exculpatory evidence or to suppress it. Now, right now, Mr. Merrill has an example of some of this exculpatory evidence which was suppressed. I sent it to him in an email, and I just want to know if he's seen it yet. I assume that he can get his emails wherever he is. Everybody else can. I haven't been able to find out from your offices whether you received that email. So I need to know those things, and I need to know those things today, and I need to talk to Mr. Merrill, because if Mr. Merrill is not willing to bring to the court's attention, and I don't mean the court in the 7th Judicial, I mean the court in Des Moines. I mean, he's going to bring this to the attention of the Judiciary Committee. He's going to bring this to the attention of the Ethics Committee, which concerns attorneys. and prosecutors. And I expect my attorney to do this, period. And if he doesn't want to do it, that's just fine. The court will have to appoint me an attorney who will.
I'll pass along the message.
Well, you know what? I need to receive verification that that message has been passed along before the end of the day.
I told you that I'll pass it along. That's enough. I've got another phone call coming in.
I don't give a shit about your other phone calls. You think I give a shit about your other phone calls? I only care about this case.
I can't sit there and talk to you all day, sir. I've got to go, okay? I'll pass along the message.
You pass along that I get a hold of this shyster now.
I will pass along the message.
Yo, you tell him to call me, period. Because if you don't tell him to call me, I'm going to have to write a letter to the ethics committee because your office lied to me. And I got a recording of that lie. I was told I was going to be able to talk to him Friday. But now I'm not going to be able to talk to him to the end of the month. You know, these things have a time considerations on them. There is a time limit. This thing has to be done in a timely manner. I don't see Mr. Merrill doing that. I don't have any evidence that Mr. Merrill has done anything in a timely fashion. So I better get that information today, and I better get it from Mr. Merrill. Thank you for your time and your attention. This is Dmitry Ivanovich with the Naked Truth.